had always thought I was careful. A trained operative, a field linguist, and part-time scout for human exploratory missions. I knew how to observe, how to blend, how to calculate risk before opening my mouth. I thought I could control the only thing humans truly treasure: their private thoughts. I was wrong. The mission had seemed simple enough. Survey the uncharted system of Zephyria. 7. Catalog potential habitable planets. Note any sentient life and return. Standard deep space reconnaissance. Nothing prepared me for the first contact. I first saw her as I approached the surface in my small reconnaissance shuttle. Zephyria 7 was not beautiful in any way humans typically understood beauty. Its sky shimmered in muted hues of green and violet, as though sunlight itself had been filtered through crystal dust. The terrain was jagged, sculpted by winds stronger than anything Earth had ever known. And then she appeared, a figure moving with a predator's grace, yet silent, like she had always been a part of the planet. Her skin was a shifting gradient of silver and deep amethyst. Her eyes, impossibly large and reflective, seemed to pierce through layers of my consciousness. Even before I stepped onto the jagged ground, I felt her presence, not in my eyes or ears but in my mind. A subtle awareness, almost like a vibration, an echo of attention that made my thoughts feel suddenly fragile. I landed cautiously, my boots crunching on the crystallized surface. My training told me to communicate through universal signs, to project peace, to avoid threatening postures. But as I lifted my hands, she already knew. Not my intent, not my words. She knew what I was thinking. Froze. Her mouth curved faintly, purr-like, melodic, vibrating in resonance with the faint tremors of the ground. "Careful, human," she said, though no sound had reached my ears. My translator rendered it. "I can hear everything." I stumbled back, heart hammering. I had trained for first contact, for xenolinguistics, for every imaginable contingency. But this was beyond any scenario. She could read thoughts. Entirely. I tried to mask my fear. "I come in peace," I said aloud. I kept my hands visible, careful not to gesture aggressively. She tilted her head, one hand trailing lightly along the crystalline ground. Her skin flickered with curiosity. "Peace is meaningless without thought," she said, the translator interpreting with exact tonal accuracy. "I know what you intend before you speak it." A shiver ran down my spine. She wasn't exaggerating. Every mental nuance, every private hesitation, every question I hadn't voiced, it was visible to her. And yet there was no aggression, only observation. "My name is Elias," I said cautiously, testing whether identity could shield thought. She already knew it. "I know your name," she replied softly. Her voice was like water running over stone, gentle yet impossible to ignore. "And your fear." I swallowed. I wasn't supposed to be here. Every protocol screamed that first contact should be controlled, cautious, documented. But every instinct told me that this encounter defied protocol. There was no observation. There was no safety net. I mean no harm," I said, carefully pacing my thoughts as well as my words. She chuckled, a low, vibrating sound that resonated in my chest. The translation made it sound almost amused. "You do not need to say it," she said. "I already know." I raised my hands, signaling surrender. What are you?" She moved closer, slow, deliberate. Each step seemed to bend the ground slightly under her, not from weight but from resonance. "I am the Sentinel," she said. "Protector of this world, listener of minds, and observer of truths. You are transparent to me." I tried not to flinch. "Transparent?" "Yes. Thoughts leak. Intentions bleed. You cannot hide from me. Her proximity was intoxicating and terrifying. I could feel my thoughts exposed, like a window left open to a storm. And yet, there was a strange calm in her presence, a strange curiosity that didn't feel predatory. She wasn't hunting me, she was reading, learning, assessing. I need to report this, I whispered, though even saying it aloud felt almost pointless. She knew. I know, she said, and her skin shifted to a warm gold. You think you are reporting. You think your superiors can understand this. They cannot. Only you, human, have reached this threshold. 4 hours, I followed her across the crystalline terrain, walking alongside a being who could feel the exact pattern of my thoughts. Every hesitation, every doubt, every flicker of emotion was exposed. And every time I tried to think something I wished to hide, she purred softly and commented on it, as if amusement and curiosity were intertwined. Eventually, I asked the question that burned in my mind. Why me? Her eyes flickered like distant stars. Because you are aware of yourself. Most beings do not notice how much thought leaks. You do. And for that, you are interesting. Her words, or rather her mental resonance, sent a thrill through me. She wasn't threatening. She wasn't demanding loyalty. She was teaching me something about myself, about thought, about the fragility of privacy in a universe where some beings could sense it all. The days passed in a strange rhythm. She taught me how she perceived the world, not just through senses we could recognize, but through thoughts, vibrations, and intention. I, in turn, explained human concepts of privacy, secrecy, and the subtle art of masking emotion. Each session left me drained yet exhilarated. And then came the moment I didn't anticipate. I thought it, briefly, as a joke, a fleeting private desire. I wish she would trust me. Her eyes darkened, and she stepped closer. You think that, she said softly. You wish it. Froze. Yes, I suppose so. She tilted her head, a low purr vibrating through the air. Trust is not given, human. It is demonstrated. That single thought, unspoken, had changed everything. There was no going back. I realized then that in her presence, my mind could betray me, but also guide me. That unspoken desires carried power. That communication transcended words. Weeks passed. My mission remained officially intact. I recorded data, cataloged flora and fauna, made note of the planet's unusual gravitational anomalies. But all of it paled compared to my connection with her. Every silent thought, every unspoken question became a dialogue. She began to guide me through problems I could not solve alone. Systems that had baffled human engineers became trivial under her subtle influence. She did not speak instructions. She revealed possibilities through resonance, through the unspoken link we shared. And I began to understand something fundamental. Some beings communicated not with words, but with thought, intention, and presence. To be honest, to be open, to reveal what we hid even from ourselves. That was how understanding truly grew. Then came the final test. A sudden storm tore across the northern plateau, discharging energy that threatened to destabilize our shuttle and the nearby research base. I could see the energy rippling, unpredictable, a cascade of destruction waiting to happen. She stepped forward. Her eyes glowed brighter, skin shifting to a pure silver. You will not survive this alone, she said. I knew she could reach into my mind, perceive the energy, and guide me through it. I also knew it would expose every thought I had ever tried to hide. Every fear, every selfish desire, every doubt. He nodded. I trust you. Her purr resonated through the ground. Then, in a blur of synchronized thought and action, she guided me. Every calculation, every movement, Every reaction flowed in perfect resonance. Together we stabilized the energy, saved the base, and survived the storm. When it was over, I collapsed on the crystallized surface, exhausted. She knelt beside me, her skin slowly fading to soft violet tones. "You think you survived," she said softly. "But you changed. Your thoughts. They are no longer entirely your own. And mine. They will never be the same." I laughed weakly, drained but exhilarated. "I suppose we'll have to get used to that." She purred again, and I realized it wasn't just a sound. It was an acknowledgement, a bond, a promise. One silent thought had started it all. One thought had revealed more than words ever could. And now our understanding transcended language, species, and distance. I stood, brushing crystal dust from my sleeve. "Then let's see where it takes us next." She inclined her head. "Careful, human. I can hear everything." And for the first time I smiled at the idea that she could. Because now I didn't want to hide a single thing. The stars above Zephyria, 7, shimmered with quiet brilliance, reflecting the infinite possibilities of thought, trust, and connection between two beings who spoke not only with words, but with minds. And in that silence, we found the beginning of everything.